the kernel lying in its broken shell. "Let me try," Fritz said, and seizing the Nutcracker, he forced such a large nut into its mouth that one of the wooden jaws cracked right across. "You've broken my best present," Clara said, bursting into tears. The party was over, and the guests were putting on their cloaks and furs before going out into the cold streets piled high with snow. Still feeling sad, Clara bound up the Nutcracker's head with her handkerchief and left him lying in her doll's bed in the drawing room while she went upstairs to her own bedroom. Later that night, Clara woke and went downstairs in the dark to make sure her Nutcracker was safe. But when she opened the door of the big room, she saw an army of mice attacking the toys, which were all alive and trying to fight back. The mice seemed to be winning the battle until the Nutcracker leapt from the doll's bed and tried to beat back the mouse army. Clara, anxious to save the Nutcracker, threw her shoe at the Mouse King and stunned him. While he was still on the ground, the Nutcracker attacked him with a sword, and the whole army of mice, with their king, were put to flight. As Clara sank to the floor, tired out, the dark room was gradually filled with light, and she found herself in a forest of Christmas trees with snow falling gently around. The Sugar Plum Fairy and her prince were preparing to entertain Clara and the Nutcracker.